I live here, in a small village surrounded by the vast Nordic wilderness. A place where winters can last up to 8 months. Distances stretch far and quiet, and more reindeers live here than people. There isn't much to do, except follow the rhythm of the changing seasons, watch the animals wander and look up as the northern skies come alive with dancing auroras. The question I get asked most often is what I do for a living here. And the answer is both simpler and more complicated than it might seem. I see people on YouTube and social media living lives that look so unusual, almost unreal, and I often wonder how they manage to make a living doing that. After being asked this question so many times, I realized I've quietly become one of those people whose life might seem a bit outside the usual way of working. At first, I didn't want to talk about it. It felt too personal, and sharing it with the world made me feel vulnerable. But then I understood that it's important to tell the truth. What you see online is never the whole story. There's always more beneath the surface. So here I am, sharing my story about how I found a way to make a living here in the middle of nowhere while keeping a slow, simple life close to nature, doing the things I love most. This is only one path. This is my path. And it doesn't mean anyone else should follow it. But I hope it can offer a little inspiration to you and maybe also to myself that there are many ways to live a life you truly love and still make a living from it. It might look like I make a living from YouTube and social media. But the truth is, those aren't steady sources of income unless you work with many brands and run a lot of ads. I haven't found many brands that align with my values, and I haven't stepped into that world, at least not yet. So it might come as a surprise, but I don't actually earn very much from my videos. It wouldn't be possible to live on that alone. Creating them takes time and effort, and I've always thought of it as a passion, something that covers part of its own costs. But lately I've started to realize that isn't so sustainable, so I combine many things. Besides earning a little from people watching my videos, I also sell my photo prints on my website. This is also a small stream that joins a larger current. I began photographing when I moved to the north of Finland, learning everything from scratch. But I was so awestruck by the beauty of the Nordic landscapes that I absolutely had to learn how to capture it. After a few years, I held my very first photography exhibitions here in the north and launched my print shop online. Today I send my Nordic photo prints all over the world, hoping to share a piece of this beauty with people who might never see it with their own eyes. Photography has taken me to places and moments I don't think I would have experienced if I hadn't wanted to capture them on camera. It has opened my eyes to quiet details, fleeting light, and hidden corners of the world that might otherwise have gone unnoticed. Through the lens, I've learned to slow down, to truly see and to find wonder in the smallest, simplest things. Recently, I have also started designing and selling my own knitting patterns. I've been knitting all my adult life. When I was younger, it wasn't considered a very cool hobby, and I didn't always feel proud of it, since not many other young people seemed to knit. But I've always loved crafting with my hands, creating something lasting and natural in a world that feels increasingly filled with cheap, disposable clothing. Designing my own patterns is something I just can't stop doing. Ideas come to me while I'm sleeping or driving, and I can hardly wait to see them take shape as I knit them into reality. Creating my own patterns and turning them into sellable knitting designs is a craft of its own, and I'm still learning it. It took me almost a full year to turn my very first sweater, the Silver Song sweater, into a pattern ready for sale. It's a process that requires patience and attention to detail, but I love every step of it. Seeing an idea in my mind slowly take shape in the yarn and then turning into something others can follow and create themselves is deeply satisfying. Both of these, my photo prints and my knitting patterns, are still in the early stages. They definitely don't fully cover the costs of making them, and neither is the world's most profitable business idea. But at this point, that doesn't really matter. I love doing both, and that love is enough to keep me going. It has taken me more than 4 years to start making any real money from my videos, photographs and knitting, all while owning rather expensive camera gear, software, yarns and all kinds of tools. So I wouldn't call this a very profitable business, at least not yet. I think that this is a slow race, not a sprint. Mostly what makes it possible for us to live here is that our family doesn't use much money. There's not much to spend it on. No restaurants, cafes or shops. We make almost all of our food ourselves and even grow some of it in our garden. But of course, life here isn't without its costs. We live in an old house with a mortgage, winters are long and the electricity bills are high. So most of our free time is spent on things that are nearly free, hiking and skiing, and simply enjoying life here at our home. Amidst all of this, I still have a normal job, just like most people do. A regular job which nowadays might seem unremarkable on social media, where I think it's often considered cooler to make money as an entrepreneur or in some flashy, unconventional way. But for me, my work is still meaningful, fulfilling and deeply rewarding, and I love doing it. When I first moved to the north of Finland 5 years ago, I came alone, but I came for a job, a reasonably normal, full-time job as a music teacher. I had studied music for 5 years at university in the south and graduated as a music educator. Jobs were so hard to find down south, but no one wanted to move up north. So I did. I was actually the only person who applied for the position and I got it. So I have been teaching music ever since. For those who don't know, teaching and art aren't careers chosen for the money. My salary is well below the average in Finland, but I love my work. But teaching here also means I need to move between different locations every day. The distances are long, and most weeks I feel like I spend half my time in the car. In a way, I don't mind. There's very little traffic here, and the roads are very beautiful. But still, there are moments when I wish I could spend more time outdoors, rather than in a car or inside old buildings teaching. But that's how life is. It might look perfect from the outside, but all of us long for something more than we have at the moment. We are all unhappy with certain parts of our lives and hopefully content with others. That's just part of being human. And for me, at least, accepting that has brought a lot of peace. I can still keep moving forward, but that doesn't mean this moment right here is any less valuable. Even with all the challenges, the long winters, the distances, the slow pace of building a sustainable life, I wouldn't trade this for anything. Because here, in this quiet corner of the world, I found something that feels rare and whole. Time, space, and the freedom to lose myself in what I love. I've learned that living a life you cherish doesn't have to follow a single formula. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes patience, small, tiny steps, and sometimes choosing the slow path, even when the world seems to value speed and profit. The truth is, this life is imperfect. There are days when I wish for more comfort, more ease, more warmth, or more certainty. There are also moments that feel almost magical. When the auroras dance across the night sky, when I watch a reindeer wander by, and when I feel completely absorbed in a photograph, a melody, or a pattern I've created with my own hands. And in those moments, I realize that what matters most isn't money or fame, but presence, joy, and purpose. So this is my story, one of many ways to live. Imperfect, humble, and deeply loved. I hope it inspires you to find your own path, to see that there are countless ways to create a life that feels meaningful, even in the middle of nowhere. And for me, that is enough.